But
Alrighty.
yeah, it looks like we've got the Cardinals coming up for the final time this season, and they did just name Jacoby their starting QB. So
Yeah, Jacoby returns. A little late for Halloween, but he is returning to face us. He was pretty annoying last year against the Patriots, but we did eventually get the win. I guess before we get too deep into that one, just to kind of put a pin in the Commanders game, pretty crazy offensive performance. And you and I both predicted that we would get at least, I think we both predicted 31 and 34 points, respectively.
mhm.
And both of us gave the Commanders a little too much credit, apparently, because we scored more points than that. And this thing was literally just over at halftime. I mean, it was 31-7, I believe, at the end. Sam
Yeah,
Darnold had completed every single pass for almost 300 yards and four touchdowns in a half. It was amazing. And I was kind of concerned seeing that we were down, Jake Bobo, Derek Young, and Cooper Kupp. So dipping into our reserves in the receiver room, but that didn't matter at all. JSN continually just proves that he's the guy, and Torrey Horton has turned into a touchdown machine for this team.
I know. There was a play where JSN, I want to say I'm sure you've seen it, where he gets off the line and just like cooks the corner on a
Yeah,
like on a sweet little move he did.
I think the
And
corner tore his ACL on that play. He got cooked so hard. Like, I'm
I
not even
believe
joking.
it. But it's kind of annoying because also with that, you have people that are like, "What are you doing, Sam Darnold?" It's like he threw a touchdown to a different receiver on that play.
Yeah, he was like, that JSN throws too open. I'm gonna throw a fucking laser to Arroyo, like a Peyton Manning 2004-esque just dart
Hmm.
right out of the reach of the defender. That was his best, one of his best throws of the season, I thought.
I kind of miss seeing passing plays like that. Like we
Yeah.
haven't really seen many of those since Peyton Manning,
I feel
I
like
feel like.
the modern
Maybe Joe
NFL
Burrow, but
occasionally, I feel like the modern NFL offense is so dependent on just like using the vertical, or sorry, not the vertical, the horizontal space schematically to find plays in the middle of the field, that it kind of just ends up being a lot of like drag and slant routes that guys get open on. But just hitting the like nine route to a tight end like that was pretty beautiful. I enjoyed every second and replay of that. And I know Sam Darnold threw a pick in this game, and I mean, it wasn't even like it was a bad decision. He just kind of threw it behind. I
it was
think it
just a
was
bad throw.
Cody White. Yeah, I mean, and he's not perfect, but he was about as close to perfect as it gets in the NFL in this game, and we didn't need it at all. The defense. I know we gave up quite a few yards in the run game for the first time this season, but I think that had way more to do with the fact that really after halftime, both teams just wanted to get this game over with and kind of just run that clock. So I'm not overly concerned about that. We had all reserves in by the fourth quarter. I want to say Drew Lock was taking snaps. Um, Also, Ty Okada, I want to give him a shout out real quick because he basically put this game away in like the first or second quarter with that
Hmm.
crazy pick. And that was so athletic and impressive that he was able to get up for that ball and get his feet in bounds. So he's really played shockingly well for Julian Love, especially after that Buccaneers game where you were like, oh man, what are we going to do without Love? But
Yeah.
very,
Um,
very impressive.
yeah, just going back to that Sam Darnold pick real quick. I do not care at all that he threw that interception
Yeah.
because he's just gotten better every week. He's a
hmm
better quarterback today than he was last year for the Vikings, and he was playing really well. So I don't care at all that he threw that interception. I kind of almost I'm glad he did because it's a learning moment.
Yeah, something
And
to improve on.
yeah, and I've been very happy with his game all year. So
Yeah, he continues to make me feel like a big dummy for not being stoked at the signing because he's looking like the biggest bargain free agent quarterback signing in franchise history. And I mean, I don't think that's remotely close of an exaggeration to say. You don't get a quarterback off of free agency that comes in and plays as well hardly ever. I mean, Peyton Manning in 2012, but I mean, that was Peyton Manning, and that was just a totally different situation. I know Kirk Cousins made himself many, many millions of dollars being a free agent a few times, but to get basically the Geno Smith deal we had for Darnold, who by all accounts is playing as well as anyone at quarterback right now, it's just week after week. The longer this thing goes on, the more you're like, holy shit, did we hit a home run this offseason?
yeah, yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I think what was it Sam Darnold? I was looking at some. I think he what is he like top five right now in MVP voting?
Um, I don't know. There's like a whole bunch of different sites, and a lot of them are just gambling sites. So they're like, "Oh, Mahomes is going to be the MVP because it's a money-based thing, and that's what the money is on." But he's definitely, I mean, he's at least got to be in the conversation. 70% completion percentage. He's on pace for over 4,000 yards, 16 touchdowns, 5 picks, and he's by far and away right now leading the league in yards per pass attempt. Um, he has 13.7 yards per completion right now, which is that's fucking insane. That's like 1940s numbers when they would throw like 8 times a game. It's pretty crazy. So yeah, I mean, it's truly just like amazing what this team has been able to do so far. And I really I don't have a ton to say about the Commanders game because it was over in like 10 seconds. It felt like it was kind of
Yeah.
just like Seattle fan porn for a half, and then the second half was a snooze fest. But I think that the move we made this week is actually going to be a lot bigger of a deal. Starting with this Cardinals game coming up for the rest of the season.
Yeah, real
Uh,
quick before we move off the Commanders game, I thought it was pretty funny. I saw this thumbnail of Jaden Daniels when he broke his arm and just the cat like the it was literally the thumbnail was a snapshot of his elbow facing the wrong way and him like
oh,
down on the ground, and it was I think it was posted by the NFL or an NFL or ESPN related
for real?
platform, and they were like, we're not going to show it live on TV, but we're going to make the actual breaking of the bone our thumbnail.
Jesus Christ. Apparently, the injury is not as bad as initially thought. Like, it didn't tear any ligaments. So, that's really good to hear because I had a weird feeling coming into this game. It just was making me think about the 2012 playoff game against RG3 because, I mean, Jaden Daniels is coming into this game with an injury. And I'm like, I remember sitting there in the fourth quarter, like, why is he still in the game? Like, I know you don't want to, like, give up, but dude, this game is over. What are you doing, Dan Quinn? And I said that when we were at our watch party, and 5 minutes later, no later than that, that happened, which sucked to see. But sounds
Yeah,
like he's going to be back in, I don't know, a few games or so because it's his
I
left
kind of
arm
didn't really
too.
think it was that crazy he was in the game still. I mean,
Hmm.
the way I felt about it, it's like they had done nothing all game. Do you guys really want to have nothing to show for this game? Get any sort of rhythm going with your offense? Because this could affect you down the line. And
Yeah, and I mean, it's also one of those things. It's like, yeah, because of the result, there's a million questions about it. But if you're a Commanders fan, you're like, I don't want to see you guys give up. So. I don't think it was like a horrible decision or anything. I just
yeah.
watching the game, I was like, take every starter out of this game on both teams because of the field that they're playing on. This field is like cursed. Horrible injuries happen at was it FedEx Field? I think something like that.
Isn't it the same place though?
What do you mean?
Or yeah, are you asking if it's called FedEx Field?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, something stupid like that.
But yeah, the run game continues to be like the weak link of this offense. But I think that the trade we just made for Shaheed is going to help out a lot in that, surprisingly, or I guess maybe counterintuitively, because I saw a stat that defenses are playing us in like base load the box formation higher
Hmm.
than any other team in the NFL. And part of that is because we're committing to the run. I know it's not really working, but we're doing it. So we're making defenses have to, not just let us get 7 yards of carry on them. But I think if teams keep loading the box against us with JSN and now with Shaheed, two guys that legit can take the top off of defense, and Sam Darnold, this play action game, having the crazy season that they're having, like you're just going to get cooked for a 70-yard touchdown once or twice a game. And obviously, they won't commit to that. So we'll start seeing more too high looks. And that was a huge problem when Wilson was our quarterback later on in our career, and or not in our career, but in his career.
Yeah.
But Darnold has shown the ability to just kind of pick apart the middle of the field. But also, that's going to be one less guy to try to stuff the run. So maybe we'll get more production out of our two backs and Walker and Sharp.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's just based on looking at the points of the trade. Getting Shaheed just opens up so many more opportunities for plays downfield. And
Mhm.
you would think ideally there's no more going to be double looks on JSN. It's going to be now we're going to have to worry about Shaheed
Mhm.
going, you know, go routes downfield. So
Yeah, and I
I,
feel like the formations you can do with like, putting Arroyo out there out wide with Shaheed, JSN, and Torrey Horton, like those are all guys that can fly. So th I mean, this offense is seriously dynamic, man. I really thought the line was going to be more of a hindrance this season, but they've been fucking phenomenal. I
yeah,
saw in a PF or it's like a combined metric of like Pro Football Focus, ESPN, and I think NFL.com's pass blocking grading. Um, the
they're all
Broncos
getting
are
their hand in the fucking cookie jar with this equation.
yes. The Broncos have been number one for the past 2 years in that metric, but Seattle right now is eighth. So by all
What is the
metrics,
metric?
I'd have to send it to you. I don't
It's
know the
just an
exact.
offensive line
It's
play.
basically offensive line pass blocking efficiency, more or less. And the
Hmm.
Seahawks are top 10. I never thought I would utter those words
Well,
because
we're rarely
I've
getting
never been
sacked.
able to. And I think Darnold's only been sacked all of like 9 times this season. I don't think we get sacked against the Commanders? I don't think we did.
I don't think
But
so,
yeah,
the
he's
only
only been
sack I can
sacked
think
nine
of that was,
times.
yeah, the only sack I can think of that was like meaningful was the one where we lost the Niners to.
Yeah. Yeah. There's been, a few more since then, but that was by far the most impactful. But it's crazy too, because Sam Darnold was sacked 48 times last year. So a lot of people were like, oh, Sam Darnold takes a bunch of sacks. He's avoiding pressure like as well as anyone else in the league right now. And the fact that we're on pace for only like 18, less than 20 sacks given up on a season. I mean, Gino was a guy who took sacks. Wilson obviously was a guy who took sacks. So we're used to like 45 being a low number at the end of the year. And we're going to
Hmm.
have less than half of that if things hold the way they have been.
It's
So
also
that
just so frustrating watching an offense that has a quarterback getting sacked like multiple times a game.
Yeah, it because it kills drives, unless you have a crazy play to make up for it. But oftentimes, if you have a 10-yard sack, it's like, okay, we're punting.
Yeah.
We're fucked. Um, but yeah, I guess moving on to the Cardinals game. This is obviously a very familiar foe. We've played them twice a year. We have not lost to them for 5 years, I think. So by all accounts they should, the Cardinals should be due for a win here. But um, even with the move to Jacoby, who I do think right now is a more threatening quarterback than Kyler Murray has been, just because Kyler Murray, I saw a stat that he hasn't led a touchdown drive at when we're at home since the 2020 season.
Wow.
Because he missed a game, and then in the rest of the games, he literally hasn't led a touchdown drive. So that's how much success we've had against Murray across a few bad defensive coordinators, and now the King McDonald. Um, but I don't know. I think this game will be just as annoying as any other divisional game, but by really any metric you can point to, the Seahawks are a superior team than this Cardinals team.
Well, especially with the Cardinals' run game being what it is currently, I'm not. I expect us to turn them into a one-dimensional passing team trying to play catch up the whole game.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing for this game is going to be to stop Trey McBride. I don't think we've been phenomenal at stopping tight ends this year. I mean, even in this last game, as we discussed leading into it, Zach Ertz did get some stats against us. But yeah, Marvin Harrison Jr. is a little bit finding his groove. Still not someone I'm gonna lose sleep over. And then, Michael Wilson is good number two. So they got weapons, but yeah, are we going against Amari DeMarcado and Michael Carter? Like we've played better running backs than that every week this season, virtually. So I would be shocked if the run game doesn't hold defensively against this team. And then on the other side of the ball, I know I think it's Walter Nolan is the guy they drafted. And he may be making his debut on the defensive line, but this defense is just mid on the Cardinals. They've been okay. Um, we've certainly played better defenses on this season, so by all accounts, this should be a win at home. I just feel like with how long it's been since the Cardinals have beaten us, and the fact that we do play a little worse at home for whatever reason, like this could be an annoying game. And honestly, I feel like the score could be exactly what it was last time we played them. We end up winning like 23-20, and it's frustrating, but that's kind of the vibe I have going into this one.
Yeah, and I'm personally like over getting too concerned over low scoring or one score divisional games, no matter how bad they are,
Yeah.
because we just see each other too often to where at any point, I mean, yeah, there'll be the random 58-0 games that happen every once in a while, but like you said, I kind of expect this game to be determined by a field goal or a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, look what the Vikings just did to the Lions, a team that's
Yeah.
by like most measures vastly better than what the Vikings are. But I mean, they found a way to win that game, and you can just never take anyone for granted, even though the Seahawks are looking like a bit of a juggernaut right now. Uh,
Especially when a team's season is on the line. Like you could argue the Cardinals, if they lose this game, the season's over.
yeah. Granted, though,
So
we were saying the same thing about the Commanders going into that game, and they certainly didn't play like their season was on the line. Or, I mean, if they were like, damn, that's rough.
well, maybe they were never that good to begin with.
I don't think they were. I think, last year was kind of their year, and they made it really far, but how many times do you see a team with a rookie QB go off in recent memory and then take a huge step back the next year? It seems like that happens.
Seems like every year with the exception of us.
Yeah.
Because we won the Super Bowl in Russ's second year, so.
hmm Yeah, and could have won it the first year and the year after that too. Those teams were very good. But yeah, I guess do you have like a formal score prediction? I think I'm gonna go with I'm gonna a little bit backtrack off of what I said earlier. I think we're gonna win 27-17, but I think it's gonna be like 20-17 in the fourth quarter. Like
Hmm.
close game, but not a super close final score.
Yeah, that's pretty reasonable. I would say like 23-17. So we're
Okay.
gonna like win by a tutty, but well, we're gonna win by six, and it's gonna be annoying, but
Yeah, this game just has annoying vibes written all over it, especially because like
it's at
my wor
home.
yeah, and my worry is, we got the Rams next week, which is the biggest game on our schedule so far, and probably for the whole season. That both Ram
Hmm.
games are the most important. So I really hope McDonald can do a good job of just making guy like having guys avoid thinking ahead and just focusing on this Cardinals game. But
Hmm.
every time I have these like little anxieties and fears about not taking games seriously, this season, I've seen nothing to think that that's going to be a problem. This really is just starting to feel like a different team than, frankly, we've ever really had. Like the 2025 Seahawks are, they're not just like surpassing expectations, they're just playing a style of football on both sides of the ball that's like new to my eyes.
They also, I don't think have had a game where they've come out flat,
Yeah,
like at
it's been
all.
even the
Like,
games where we've lost, like you could make a strong argument one play would have us winning those games.
right. I just feel like the way McDonald prepares our guys is different than Pete. Like
Hmm.
with Pete, he let the players be so free and true to themselves that I feel like that does potentially warrant, like, oh, maybe they were fucking off the day before and they're not as focused as they should be, or,
Hmm.
whatever. Just speculation. But
Yeah,
obviously, I have no
because
way of knowing. But
well, that really was a thing. I mean, going even all the way back to our Super Bowl year, and the year before we won the Super Bowl, we lost to the fucking Dolphins and Lions, who were terrible that year in 2012. And then on the flip side of that, in 2023, we beat the team that, was in the Super Bowl the year before at home in the Eagles with a backup quarterback, Drew Lock. Like Pete was the best at getting us ready for a big game, but it did seem like we would let some gimmies slip through our fingers occasionally. And it just
hmm
seems like there's a consistency with McDonald that is fresh. It's a new thing after a long era in the Carroll years.
yeah, yeah, certainly it's got me pretty excited for the home stretch of the season because I feel like the way our schedule's shaping up, I'm not seeing more than like four, maybe five losses on our schedule.
Total, yeah. And yeah. And I don't know, like I know I've mentioned it before, but like the Rams games obviously toughest two games on our schedule, and then 49ers injured or not, they're going to be a pain in the ass to beat. They just always are. I I just think we're going to beat the Colts. I'll save my full thoughts on that for December, but I don't know, man. I just got a feeling about that game. But then you sprinkle in the Titans, the Falcons, the Vikings. I know the Panthers beat Green Bay, but like I I think Green Bay has a real problem with playing down to their competition this year, as evidenced by their two losses to the Browns and the Panthers, one of
And they're
which at
tied to the
home.
Cowboys.
Yeah. And they're kind of a very up and down team. So I know we're not doing power rankings this week, but I would be taking the Packers down a couple pegs because I believe they are like maybe the youngest team in the NFL. And I think there's pluses and minuses to having a really young team like that. And I think the minus for them is they're kind of fucking up against lesser competition.
They kind of remind me of like the better version of the Falcons. Like they both play the same way, but just the Packers are way better. Or I
Yeah.
guess have a higher ceiling, whereas the Falcons just they'll have random games where they play well, but for the most part, they don't have an identity.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like that's how the Packers are playing.
Yeah, the Falcons are one of the strangest. The Falcons and the Panthers. I mean, like those are games where if we get the
The
high,
Panthers are 5-4.
I know. Yeah, but like I just feel like they're having a really weird, like both those teams are having bizarre seasons where they look so bad in multiple games and then they beat a top tier opponent in the Bills and the Packers and it's like, what? How was that in your back pocket this whole time? And then the Vikings too, like we got them coming to Seattle in a few weeks and they just beat the Lions, who are a top tier team. So yeah, it's not like any of those games are gimmies. It's just
If
I think we should win those.
if our defense gets cooked by JJ McCarthy, I don't know what I'm gonna do. That
I
just
refuse to
can't happen.
believe I refuse to believe that's possible.
Yeah.
I just I can't I can't accept that that could ever be a reality. But yeah, sounds like we both got the Seahawks winning this Cardinals game.
Yes.
Quick around the league, couple trades going on. The Jets are continuing their 15-year rebuild by trading away Quinnen Williams, one of their best defensive players, and then probably their absolute best defensive player in Sauce Gardner to the Colts.
I disagree. I think he's extremely overrated.
I also think he's overrated, but I do think he's like very good. So, I mean, but two first round picks and add the eye, like that was a pretty steep price to pay for Sauce Gardner. So, I don't know. Like, if it works out, the Colts will look smart, but if it doesn't, it's like you really just like went all in on a few good games with Daniel Jones for Super Bowl, and we'll see. It's a very volatile trade, I think there.
Yeah, I think it's a terrible trade because you're giving up way too much capital for him. And then the the GM, I believe Chris Ballard is in the last year of his contract.
Oh.
So like if I'm a Colts fan, I'm kind of pissed that this guy is just like trying to save his job with this trade. Like,
Yeah, it's
I don't know. That's kind of my I, I
I'd
would
be
be
more
frustrated
mad
if I was a Colts fan.
I'd be more mad if I was a Cowboys fan personally because you just lost to fucking Jacoby and the Cardinals and you're like, "Okay, let's go all in. Let's trade for a defensive tackle. That'll save us." After you traded Micah Parsons, like what are you doing? Like,
Did
are
they
you
trade the pick they got for Micah for Quinnen Williams?
I would need to track down the specifics of that, but
I'm just gonna look it up.
they traded a high pick for him, and I think they traded up multiple picks, and one of them was part of the Micah Parsons trade. So it's kind of like, okay, so you don't feel like you're at a place in your franchise right now where you should hang on to your 25-year-old best at his position player in Micah Parsons, but you should sell the farm for a similar age defensive tackle. I, and you're 3-4-1 or 3-5-1 and whatever. It's not like you're competing this year. It's just nothing they do makes sense to me, and they're just destined to be mid forever.
Yeah,
And the
so it looks like they got a or the Jets acquired a 2026 second and then a 2027 first and then
okay.
defensive tackle Mozzie Smith.
Yeah, who,
So
by the way, I remember wanting the Seahawks to draft, and
I
he's been
remember that. Yeah.
terrible. He's been
Wait,
so bad. So sometimes I'm really glad we don't do what I want because I
you know
end
who
up
else
being
has been awful? That reminds me of this. I was going to bring this up to you the other day, but that Jonah start
Savaianea.
he's
Yeah.
been, I guess, according to like Pro Football Focus metrics or some metric out there, he's been one of the worst offensive linemen in like NFL history.
Yeah, and I had him in like 8 mock drafts I did.
I think I had us like trading up to get him and shit.
Yeah, this league has a way of making you feel either really smart or really stupid, like often.
Yeah.
But that's why it's so fun to watch. And this has been a really just entertaining NFL season with the Chiefs kind of looking more mortal. There's no, and that's what's so exciting about what the Seahawks are doing is, I want to sit here and temper expectations and be like, just because we're doing good doesn't mean we're a real contender, but like, who is the real fucking contender right now? Like we got as
Yeah.
good a record, a
This is
chance
kind
as
of the
anybody.
I feel like this is the kind of that point in time of when the NFL like has that stretch of time where all the teams kind of even out and no one's really that dominant. I feel like the MLB, believe it or not, even though the Dodgers just won their second in a row, are kind of
Just
experiencing that
barely
too
though.
because there was no one in the AL that was like a runaway. Fuck, the Mariners almost won the AL. So it's
Yeah.
like I feel like the same deal is kind of happening with the NFL. Like the Chiefs are still good, but they've been good
Mhm.
for so long that you're starting to see holes in their game and their weaknesses.
Yeah, and same with like the Eagles in the NFC, who, they're at the top of the conference right now, but they have the same record as us, and they haven't looked amazing this year. They looked good, but they don't look like a whole tier above the rest of the league like the Chiefs and Eagles have for much of the last 3 or 4 years. So, yeah, it's really it's gonna be really fun to just watch this second half of the season here as the playoff picture plays out. But I really feel like just to get in the playoffs, period, this year, I feel like we got to get to 12 wins. I don't think 11 is necessarily going to be enough this year. And I also think, you know, there's a really strong likelihood that no matter what seed the Seahawks get, if they make the playoffs, you're playing a division opponent immediately. So it's gonna be tough.
Excuse me. Yeah,
Bless you.
what is it? The Niners are the 7 seed projected right now.
Yeah, let me just pull up the playoff picture right now because it's kind of a juicy one. Well, yeah, so we would be the 3 seed, Eagles, Bucks 1 and 2 respectively, Packers 4, and then the wild card teams would be Rams, 49ers, and Lions. So
Mm.
I feel like of that bunch, the 49ers are almost certainly the weakest opponent in there, but they're still, like they just do not die easily this year. So but you look at that lineup and any of those teams you could realistically see making it all the way this year.
Damn,
And
if
then
the
on the
playoffs. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say it's really similar on the AFC side right now too, because like, you got teams like the Jaguars and Chargers in the playoff picture, Steelers, and then the Ravens and Chiefs are outside the playoff picture looking in, but you could easily see them making their way back in. Texans have the top defense, so I just feel like it's very balanced on both conferences this year, and it's gonna be kind of anyone's game in January.
Pretty nice not seeing that stupid fucking arrowhead in the fucking hunt.
Yeah, I
But
would be shocked if they don't make it, but you never
but if the
know.
playoffs started today, I think we'd have the most favorable matchup of any of these teams. Like Packers, Rams, that's going to be a fucking bloodbath, and then Bucks, Lions, maybe even more so than that. So,
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I mean. It's like I feel like the NFC, there really are like seven distinct good teams
hmm
and then a couple of mid teams and then a few bad ones. So no matter who gets in this year, you're not getting like an easy first round wild card win. So it'd
yeah,
be great if the Seahawks somehow end up with a bye.
yeah, it's very possible. The Eagles don't look that good, so
Yeah. I wish we played them
yeah.
just to have a chance to get a tiebreaker head to head
Who
over
do we
them.
play in the NFC East? The Oh,
Uh,
did we just
yeah,
play it?
it was just the Commanders, so
Okay.
we're already done with that conference or division.
That's good. Cool. Well, I gotta wrap this up because I gotta head to work. But
All
we'll
right.
pick this thing up later on this week.
Sounds good. Well, thanks for listening, everybody, and we will see you on the next one.
Yep. See you guys.